Hello and welcome to Sideshow's First Look. Today, the Iron Man Mark I Special Edition diecast 6-scale figure by Hot Toys. The exterior of the diecast Iron Man box has a photograph of the figure inside blazoned on the front. It's in warm bronze-like colors illuminated by the flames behind it. A sturdy black styrofoam tray that houses our figure slides out from the side. Pressed into the front of that styrofoam box will be the words Mark I, and on the side, Stark Industries. Inside the sturdy styrofoam container will be our Mark I 2 flame effects, an additional set of hands, and with the exclusive, the unpainted Mark I diecast helmet. The lower tray, our diorama base, our figure stand, and a stand extension. Here we have everything out of the tray: the Mark I figure, the diorama base and figure stand, the stand extension, 2 flame effects, the alternate right and left hand, and with the exclusive, the unpainted die-cast helmet. But right now, let's take a look at what Tony Stark built in a cave. The design of the Mark I is heavily influenced by the first appearance of Iron Man in issue 39 of the comic Tales of Suspense. The oversized eye holes have no lenses, and the linear 3-hole design of the mouth is straight off the cover of that comic. Those large eye holes lets us see Tony's eyes inside the mask. Thick weld lines are all around the edges, as well as dents throughout. They've gone and done a black paint wash that really highlights those warm weld lines that are slightly brighter, as well as the dark edges around. The entire helmet is one die-cast element with a hinge atop. A hinge allows us to open up the helmet 90 degrees and see the Tony sculpt underneath. 2 locks of hair drop down onto the left side of the face. He has a furrowed brow and a determined glare. It's that signature facial hair, and an all-new paint scheme really has a great skin tone and lifelike look to it. A hint of gloss throughout the entire portrait gives the idea of perspiration from being inside this very hot suit in the middle of the desert. Underneath the armor, Tony is wearing a brown jacket that he used when welding, as well as the pinstriped suit pants that he wore when he was captured. The large weld lines that we saw on the helmet continue down on the shoulders as well as in the chest. Here on the front chest, we get that great weathering and texturing, as well as lettering on the side from the remnant scrap pieces that he used to build the armor. The 2 hinges in the front are permanently fixed downward. And on the back, we actually see the Stark name still from one of those pieces on the back. The front piece of the chest, as well as the 2 pieces on the side shoulders in the upper area, are all made out of die-cast, and they have a hint of metallic and great weathering, giving it an incredible realistic look. Underneath that top panel is going to be the first Arc Reactor that Tony built. It is bright and luminescent, and here it is, all lit up. We can see the wires that have been sculpted and painted in multiple colors coming down off the bottom and up around the top. Here on the back, we see all the gears and mechanisms, and there are actual curled wires all around, as well as sculpted ones and hand-twisted colorful ones throughout. Above all of those gears is going to be that panel that says Stark with the number and an identification of one of his pieces of weapon. On the side, we're going to have a little tank that has the oil dripping down on it and a clamp holding it in place. The little motor on the side now actually rotates. Inside, those copper-looking coils actually move, and it creates a sound when moving. The on-off feature for that, as well as the light feature, is right here with this button. Underneath the oil can that we talked of earlier is where the plug-in for the USB goes. The right forearm has a gas canister in the upper portion for his flamethrower, and bright yellow paint that's been heavily chipped is all over the body of that. This forearm armor is sculpted and painted plastic and blends in beautifully with the die-cast elements above it. The left arm is bulkier, with a large panel with heavily chipped paint on top that opens to reveal a small red missile inside. Running down either leg is going to be large gears with heavy-duty belts going all the way down from the waist to the knee. Now, these are static and do not move, but are sculpted to look very realistic. The upper portion of each the right and left leg are now made of die-cast with great paint schemes underneath and over, giving it multiple washes and really bringing a handmade junkyard find to it. You see on the legs those weld lines, hinges, heavy 90-degree angles, as well as what looks like even hammer hits and bends throughout. Down onto the left lower leg, it has a large panel flap that is articulated that can lift and lower. Heavy weathering again on all the metal pieces here. These pieces from the knee down are all sculpted and painted, but again, look identical to the die-cast pieces above. All over the legs, running down the back and the sides, are going to be multiple hand-twisted wires and cables. Each foot has a unique design. The right is rounded with remnants of paint on it, where the left is more angled and more raw metal. Sculpted leather-looking boots are on his feet underneath the armor. The laces and stitching all given a paint wash so they stand out. The first point of articulation on the Mark I is here in the helmet, and the helmet front will lift up a full 90 degrees and holds in place. The head is on a ball joint and allows us to turn side to side, lean in either direction, drop forward, and look upward. The shoulder can be lifted and lowered. A butterfly joint allows me to push it forward or pull it back. The arm can be raised forward 90 degrees and it can also move backward. Here at the mid-bicep region, the arm can rotate outward and inward. The arm can extend directly out to the side. Be cautious for the two die-cast metal pieces. The elbow on either arm will lift up 80 degrees. A classic ball joint on the wrists allows a full range of motion. On the inside of both arms is going to be the Flamethrower attachment that slides forward and back. Because it is a large armored solid piece in the middle, we can turn from side to side, lean right, and lean a little further on the left. The two metal panels in the front give us a small bend forward, but a greater extension backward. Onto the legs. Because of the large belts and gears that run down the side of each leg, we can only lift out slightly to the side. However, the entire leg can rotate outward and inward. It can kick forward and extend back. On the left leg, the panel in the front can lift outward. The small loop around the ankle is also articulated, as well as the metal clasp over the front boot. The knee is ratcheted and will go to 90 degrees. The ankle itself can drop down, lift up. The entire shoe can rotate side to side, as well as lean the foot in either direction. On the right side, the panel by the knee can lift up, as well as the one above it, the small loop in the front, and here on the back, these cables attached to this panel here, which will lift up and stretch that cable. It will come right down on its own. The last part of articulation is this back panel. Two small hinges allow us to extend it outward. The flame effect that attaches to both the right and left arm is done in a warm orange color all the way down to a brighter yellow and an almost clear down in its base. It has a ring that'll go over the wrist area once you remove the hand and slide it over on either side. The exclusive is going to feature an unpainted Mark I helmet, and this is done in die-cast as well. The diorama base is a section of desert floor with parts of broken crates, ammo boxes, and here on the end sticking out is an unexploded Stark missile. The elevated base looks like it's made of sheet metal. This lifts up that diorama base and features the logo and nameplate right on the front. On the left side of your screen is the Mark I 2.0, released in 2013. And here we have the 2023 Diecast Edition. And let's take a look at some of the differences. First up, on this one here, the helmet, shoulders, as well as the front, chest, and 2 leg pieces are die-cast. On the other, they are sculpted and painted. The jacket on the underside now is in a slightly darker color. Taking a look at the portrait is the same, but the 2023 has an all-new paint scheme. On the original, this canister houses 3 batteries. The on-off switch for the light effect is right here. On the new one, the power element is here inside, but it's a USB driven. The on-off switch stays the same, but now this small motor will actually rotate. This has been Sideshow's first look at the Iron Man Mark I Special Edition die-cast 6-scale figure by Hot Toys. For more information about this figure, follow the link below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek sideshow.